even when she was doing her drawings with the moths on the paper, it says a greater purpose or like finding a greater purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because knowing that her whole point of going to Salt Lake was to help find a cure, and knowing that she is immune, knowing that that's a secret, she's like, well, now I got to live here with this secret and kind of find something else to do. That's why the whole time she's wanted to go on patrol. That's why she's doing all the teenage stuff because she actually has the time to sit down and live some sort of normal life. Hey, what's up? It's Rashad Antonio. We are the Upon Further Review podcast. Back again. The Last of Us, season two, episode number six. Unfortunately, the penultimate episode. The price. All spoilers. Got to talk about a thing to talk about a thing. And this episode here has like two themes for the most part. And the very obvious theme is just the effects of parenting generationally.
Mm.
And that's man, like that is such a the fact that they tackled this even with the intro with Joel and Tommy, seeing how he was always getting him out of trouble and kind of gives us more
Mm-hmm.
backstory to them, which was like, didn't even know I really needed that, but it was cool because we
And saying
see
our man, the Swartzman, is their daddy.
that is Jack Duquesne. I knew that dude
Jack,
looked
du
familiar.
Jack Duquesne, the
I
Swartzman.
did. Yeah. I was like,
The
yo, who is this
Swartzman. I was
man?
like, I said, is that Jack Duquesne? I said, that is Jack Duquesne.
Oh man, thanks. I was so locked in. I'm like, yeah. Anyway,
Sorry,
so
man.
no, it's all good. That is good. Yeah. The swordsman. Check out Daredevil. Check out our Daredevil reviews on MC
Yes.
Collective. Anyway, them going back to '83. Joel and Tommy
Hmm.
are scared of their father, you know, and Joel is like, "Yo, you're not gonna hurt my little bro." And he
Hmm.
looking at him like, "Man, I'm gonna just tell you a story about
Yeah.
my dad and
Yeah.
how he hit me so hard, he
Bro,
broke
what
my
his
jaw.
jaw? He said that was wide for like what? He said like
2 months.
two, two,
And I
two.
also want you to, because like, okay, let's stop right there. And
Uh,
also, I want you to take notice to how he framed it. He
hmm.
didn't say my dad hurt me emotionally.
Hmm.
Like it was this crazy event that he eventually, like owned up to and apologized for.
Hmm.
He said, I was embarrassed.
Hmm.
And everybody knew what was going on. And
Hmm.
you know what that is, Tony?
What's that, Sean?
What goes on in his house stays in his
Stays in his
house.
house. Yeah.
I
Family
was like,
business.
oh man,
Hmm. Family business right
yeah.
here.
So he wasn't, so he accepted getting his ass beat, but he was more upset about everybody, that he took that L to his
Hmm.
pops
Hmm.
because the generational wounds of that then get taken to the next place, which is Joel and Tommy. Tommy being just, stupid because Tommy was still stupid when we met him in '03, you know.
Yeah.
He had to get him out of trying to get him out of jail while the apocalypse was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
then we fast forward to current time and we see how the parenting style of Joel being transferred over to Ellie and how he didn't really impact her like that. There was no physical abuse or anything, but
Hmm.
there was one glaring thing. And that was what the good book would call the sins of omission. Because and that really that's his fatal character flaw. The
Yeah.
sins of omission, guys. The sins of omission is when, let's just say, you don't tell the whole truth, or you leave
Yeah.
something out, or
Hmm.
you purposely omit something that
Hmm.
gives new context to a situation.
That dude
And
just came over there and hauled off and hit me, and I fought him. Why did he come over and haul off and hit you? That's a touchy subject.
well, what did you do anything? Oh nah. Oh yeah. Your teacher told me that she called his mama a fat whore. That's why he punched her. Hey man, we
Yeah.
were just all joking, man. You know,
Right. Yeah, we just joning, you know what I'm
he
saying? Hey.
jokes flying every day. You know what I'm saying? That's
You
just
know
how
what
we
I'm
get
saying?
down. Nah, but
Uh-huh.
nah, I feel you. So Joel omitting the fact that yeah, I murked everybody in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what else too Joel did? Joel did what his father told him to do. Because his father was like, look here, I'm trying to be better than my dad. I hope you do the same. And he's trying to break that, I guess you could say, generational curse of,
He is. And
yeah.
you gotta think about it like this too, because he also lost his actual daughter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His real daughter died. So
Real
he
daughter
feels
died,
like
yeah.
he has to hold on to Ellie
Yeah.
so tight, like I can't lose two. I lost one. I was able
Can't
to
lose.
regain this other one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to lose you,
Right.
you know? So like that whole aspect of that theme is like really interesting. Like the second one, we'll get back to that because we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is this, and that is your old school tactics may not work with this new generation. And like, because you can see on a lot of fronts when they do the flashback, how like he thinking he's gonna finesse everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I mean, for real, Joel was finessing.
Yeah.
Like even when they do I like how we do the flashback of the night that he hit the bigot in the
Seth.
mouth. Yeah,
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
Seth
yeah.
in the mouth at the New Year's party, like watching
Mm-hmm.
it from Joel's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And he can easily see that like, even Ellie's like, look, man, I gotta talk about what happened eventually. Cause
Mm-hmm.
like I need to know the truth about what happened. And it's already been on her heart and on her mind from like, like a year ago or so.
Now, yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
remember she was practicing.
Yeah,
She
she
had the
was
questions written down, and she was practicing how she was going to ask Joe what it is. But yeah,
yeah. And I goofy people would say that this episode is like, like a waste or it didn't make sense or like I wish like I've seen people saying that they've ruined both video games. I'm like, man, y'all don't understand how television I keep on saying this, like y'all don't understand how television works.
television works, man. Yeah,
And the funny thing is like this episode is like lifted straight from the video game and just given to the actual story because they're like beat for beat, like like flashback scenes that they show. Like
mm-hmm.
the whole thing about this, like the going to the museum and the
Mm-hmm.
astronaut scene and all that stuff. That's just straight like bar for bar. Even the porch scene when they when he finally
After the
breaks
party.
down, yeah, and cries about, yeah, I did it, I did everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, and the thing I love about this is he says, look, if I had a chance to do it over, I'd do it again.
You know, he went straight Frank Castle in Daredevil season 2. He was
Yeah,
like,
he
I
said.
liked it. Yeah, I loved it. I'd do it again if I had a second chance or whatever. You know what, Rashad? Since we just talking about this episode and like, dealing with it, this episode made me just be like, goddamn, Ellie, this shit made me not like your ass again. This episode made me not like you again. But then I know that was Ellie in the past. This is, you know what I'm saying? This isn't the Ellie that we have right now.
Is it?
It's
Is
okay.
it not
Right. Is
the
it?
same,
So
Ellie?
this is why. You're right. That's a good point. Because I thought that it was very hilarious that she formed the words out of her mouth. You're being selfish to Joel. I said, I beg your pardon. I beg every last pardon that's ever known to man. What? I was like, I look at it as, and you know what? I might be wrong, but this is just how I'm looking at it. I look at it as Ellie is very selfish and I don't want to say spoiled, but almost kind of spoiled because the episode starts off after the flashback with Joel and his brother and dad. You see Ellie is it's her 15th birthday.
Yeah.
And Joel is like considering they're in the apocalypse. He is doing everything he possibly can to make sure that she has something that resembles a normal birthday. My man raided an old neighborhood, found some Legos, brought him over to Seth. Seth said, "Hey, we looked over there." He says, "Man, you don't know what to look at. You know what I'm saying? You ain't a scavenger. You don't know what to look." And he got him, and then Seth made a cake. You said Seth was like, "Hey, I can do it, but vanilla is the easiest." So, had to make a little personal cake for her and everything. And you actually see the progression of Ellie. You see the wonderment that she has, like, oh my God. He also asked for a bone, an actual bone that he can shave down and place inside the guitar, refurbish the guitar and everything itself. That was her birthday gift. And then he sung a little song for her and everything and all that. That was her 15th birthday. 16th birthday comes, and he is like doing the same thing, bending over backwards considering it's the apocalypse. He's found this museum, this dinosaur. Apparently, no one else has found it. So he's found this spot, Rashad, which means he had to go in there and make sure there ain't no clickers, no bloaters, or nothing like that. Or if they were, he cleared them shits out. You know what I'm saying? For her, so she could go see the dinosaur and go in there and see what it's like to go to space. With the say the lander and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, damn, that'd be cool. Then 17th birthday comes around, and what happens? Joe realizes that, damn, I got a teenager now. I got
Yeah.
a horny, curious teenager right now. Because Joe had no idea. I thought it was funny too, because Joe had no idea that Ellie was a lesbian because during the 16-year-old flashback, he was like he thought something was going on with her and Jesse. And she's like, "Oh, you have no idea." Like she was saying, "Listen here, Joe, like yourself." But that's so he walks in on her, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily having sex, but making out, with another
Some
girl,
canoodling going on.
canoodling going on, and Joel is like, "Yo, she is 17," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm 19." And what you trying to say? She was like, "Yep, I believe." And then Caesar grabbed. He said, "What the hell?" And he was like, "Yo, you doing everything a teenager does in one swoop." So she, what I'm saying? So in Joel, this is Joel's mind, not Ellie. Joel's mind's like, "Oh my God, my makeshift daughter here is it's she has she's getting a tattoo, she's smoking weed, and in his mind, he's like, oh my God, she's experimenting with girls, what I'm saying, with girls or whatnot. Cause me and Rashad come from that era where we always believe that, oh, girls at least one time kiss another girl to be like, do I like this or not? What's the whole hey, what's her name made a song about it. I kissed a girl and I liked it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Katy
Like
Perry.
that. Katy Perry came a song with it. And Joel is like, what? And then that's when he finds out, like, oh, snap. She ain't experimenting. She likes vagina like me. What,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm
This
saying?
this ain't an experiment or the test. You know what I'm saying? This is the constant.
Right. But I just look at it that as far as Ellie, and then once Ellie finds out what happens in Salt Lake City, I just look at it as an Ellie's being so selfish. She's being selfish, and I think she's being ungrateful for the fact of, hey man, these people, granted, cool, they wanted to try to heal, what I'm saying, come up with a cure for this, but good God, they was gonna cut me up, dissect me, to pieces. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, well, I don't have nothing to live for now." We're like, "Girl, don't you love Dina or whatever?" Go ahead.
I'm glad you said that
Hmm.
because even when she was doing her drawings with the moths on the paper, it says a greater purpose or like finding a greater purpose
Hmm.
because knowing that her whole point of going to Salt Lake was to help find a cure
Hmm.
and knowing that she is immune. Secondly, knowing that that's a secret, she's like, well, now I got to live here with this secret and kind of find something else to do. That's why the whole time she's wanted to go on patrol. That's why she's doing all the teenage stuff because she actually has the time to sit down and live some sort of normal life. So
Yeah.
now that I'm here, I've been liking girl. My first girl got, I had to kill my first girl because
Hmm.
zombies. And
Hmm.
then, and now I'm in this town and I'm seeing people that I like, so might as well do this. And okay, I do understand you the whole selfish thing, but I would want to counter with they both have this like selfish symbiotic relationship
Yeah.
because it was essentially they were bonded through trauma, through their
Hmm.
whole lone wolf and cub
Hmm.
storyline or of life they had to live to get to Jackson Hole.
Hmm.
Because the old girl that Joel used to kick it with, gone. You know what I'm saying? Her whole adopted Firefly family, gone. Now it's them, and they have a new community to belong to.
Hmm.
So now Joel is trying to incorporate her into some sort of normalcy. And she's like, I don't really belong here. I understand, but I need to find my way through this. Like, even knowing that she was willing to reconcile
Hmm.
is very interesting because one, she says like I'm willing to try. Two, she never really forgave him.
Hmm.
And when I initially watched this, I was like, that's kind of cheap. You know what I'm saying? That they was even like about to reconcile or have like feelings of reconciliation.
Yeah, a little
But
cathartic moment.
yeah, but I was like, hold on, she didn't actually forgive him.
Hmm.
I think that on his dying moment, he forgave her.
Hmm.
I think that was like what that whole look was about before, he got nine iron by Abby, but that whole thing is very interesting about finding a greater purpose in a place. So right now, her whole purpose is to avenge my father's death.
Hmm.
And even by the end of the episode, we see her, you know, murk Nora, and now I'm going back to the theater.
So let me ask you this, Rashawn, because I was watching this and I was thinking about you. You being a father yourself of three, three lovely young ladies, three daughters.
Yeah.
One's an adult, one's about a couple of years from graduating from high school, and then you have one that's still going to be around
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah. She's 10. Yeah.
What was your feelings watching this as a father yourself and as a parent?
Excellent question, Tony. I'm glad you set me up for that. I felt it's funny because I looked at this as a parent and also
Hmm.
as a child. So as
Okay.
a parent, I was like, oh yeah, definitely rocking with Joel. Like I feel him. Like he's like okay, because the setup to this is we find out how Eugene dies.
Oh.
And that is like the what propels us to the beginning of season two, basically. So they was out and about. They got I don't know how many of them was of the town was in there, but they got caught up and they run up on Eugene and he's like, "Yo, Eugene, good?" He's like, "Ah, nah."
They got me, boss. They got me.
And okay, so Joel, Joel, okay, how can I say this? Joe's prime military.
He's doing it by the book.
He's prime military. So there's a lot of that militaristic mind that is in him. And he says, look, also, is he on the council? Is he on the council?
I don't think he
I don't
is.
think he's on the council, but
I don't think he's on the council.
either way, like he answers to them
Hmm.
in a way that's very differential. That's
Yeah.
why I call him the mayor of Jackson Hole, like episode 1 and 2. So
Hmm.
he is playing everything by the book. And he's looking at Eugene like, yo, ain't no way in hell I'm taking you back to the city, bro. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. And Ellie does the zombie test, and he's like, look, fam got time. You know he got time. And he's like, okay. Joe says, go back up to the mountain, get the horses, and
Spent a lot.
we'll meet back up. She looked at him like, yeah, for real, good, we good.
Scouts
So
honor.
yeah, yeah. So they walking. He took that man to the daggone lake.
Let them get a nice little view.
I said, hey man, look look beautiful. Don't you agree? He's like, trying to see no damn water. I don't want to see my wife. He said, look, yo, I can tell her, I'm saying some things if you want me to, but you ain't going back to the city, bro.
That's the part that got me.
He said, if you close your eyes, you can be able to see anybody. He was like, I see her.
No, I ain't even talking about that part, Rashad. The part that got me, he was like, he says, I don't got nothing to say to her. I need to know what she had to say to me. And I was
Yeah,
like, and I
yeah.
started thinking, I said, did they leave that morning on bad terms? Did something happen?
It could have been.
The world may never know. The world may, I'm saying the world may never know.
That is so
And
true.
he was just like, hey, if you close your eyes, you'll see, you can vision the person that you love the most. And sure enough, he did it, and it's beautiful how they shot that too. You didn't see it happen. You just saw the birds fly, and once you saw the birds fly, you knew exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
that gunshot went off. As soon as I saw that he was bit, I said, "Oh, he dead."
Yeah.
Eugene is dead because ain't no way in hell Joel is even walking with him. He's like, "Yo, we can just tie him up," and like it's like because Ellie is okay. So again, with the whole like them both being selfish,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
She's saying, "Look, yo, selfishly, she wants him to have." The goodbye that she never got to have.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, look,
Yeah.
yo, I know he's infected, but like, let's at least you know what I'm saying? Um, what's his wife's name?
Gail.
Let like Gail at least see him, let them talk. Like he ain't even gotta go in. He was like, hey man, just take me to the gate, baby. Cause
Hmm.
he's looking like, oh man. And the sad part is everybody knows Joel plays about a book. So when he saw it, he was like, oh, shit. He not gonna let me go
Hmm.
back, but I'm a sweet talk, you know. And also,
Put the empty gun out on him.
yeah,
It's like,
he
you're
said,
like,
"Bro, you ain't got no
got,
bullets, bro."
it's
I
like,
mean, not even that,
ah.
but like the whole, yeah, like he emptied the whole clip out on the
Yeah.
daggone
He's like,
zombie.
ah.
Yeah, so you got me. And Ellie was trying to negotiate. Also, Ellie's trying to still find her voice because she lived like a real like stunted life being in the QZ and now being able to act because even hear the conversation like the conversation isn't really like father daughter. It's I mean like she cussing the fuss on the whole time. Not in a black household. Like we're not gonna be carrying on like this. You not that old. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
And the fact that she's so willing to have a heart where Joel only has a heart for Ellie.
Damn, that is a very good. Damn, Rashad.
That is it because as a dad, my heart is for my kids. Bring it back to know how I feel about it. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only place like don't nothing else. End of the day, Tony,
Mm-hmm.
don't mess with my house. Don't mess with my peace. Don't mess with my kids. Like that is a very simple, don't mess with my wife. That's a very simple adages to or yeah, to live by. So he's looking at him like, if I take him back, he's messing with the peace of where I'm trying to stay. And then he mess around and bites Ellie. Now I gotta hide that. So you're messing with my kid. So all this stuff is going through Joel's mind, and Joel's mind is so one track. He snaps right back into it because you could have thought he was gonna waver a little bit
Hmm.
when Ellie wanted to negotiate, but he was like, "Oh, plan. Go get the horses."
But you know what, too, man? Joe might have thought too. It would have been worse to let him see his wife to be like, "Hey, baby, love you," and then pop him right in front. You know what I'm saying? Like that might have been even worse, man.
But either way, but you and here's the
Yeah.
thing, and that Joel failed to realize that Ellie realized
What's
is
that?
that he's not gonna give you any options.
Okay.
And that was the thing, because even she was like, yo, I've seen that face. That's the same stupid expression you had when I asked you about Salt Lake after I woke up. The same thing. Because remember, he was coaching her through the whole thing, and she
Mm-hmm.
was like, he killed everybody at that damn place, man.
Mm-hmm.
And 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 the fact that respects Ellie because Ellie was like, nah, yo, that's not what happened. That's not how it went down. No, he tried to bring her back. He wanted to come back. We agreed to come back. Then daggone Joel shot him. So now there's this dissension in my house. Because a year before, I'm saying 2 years before, she already went to the garage, and he
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'll allow it. So there's this whole house divided thing, but he is trying to work to get back in the good graces of his child because he loves his child.
Mm-hmm.
And what Joe fails to realize selfishly is he didn't let her have any agency. And that mistake and not being honest about that mistake ruined as dead at everything. Because imagine, it's like it's almost like it's like an Interstellar, one of my favorite movie, which I'll be doing a video essay on this summer on theuponfurtherreview.com. $10 a month, come join so you can watch that whole thing. So if you've never seen Interstellar, spoils for a 10-year-old movie. The Professor Brand and the terrible lie of there was no plan B. Like there was no plan to get the people off Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that whole thing is like the linchpin of the motivation. So Joel is trying to tell her like, look, we good and we got a place to stay. Like there was never no plan B for him. You know what I'm saying? It
Mm-hmm.
was all, I mean, the plan A for him. Plan A to kill my second daughter. I just spent the last like year with to get across the daggone nation. We went
Yeah.
through hell and high water to get here.
Mm-hmm.
You think I'm gonna let y'all kill her? Oh no.
Yeah. The first plan was to get him to the fire, get her to the fireflies because she's a cure or whatever, cool. But once they started talking crazy, that's when he's like, that plan is out the book. We're going back to Jackson with Tommy and the rest of them. They got a nice little establishment going on. Let's let's effing you know what I'm saying, let's effing go or
And
whatever.
and and because of that, he basically eviscerated the whole Firefly thing.
Yeah, ain't no
We're
more
not even we're not
Firefly.
even talking about Fireflies no more.
There aren't
They,
any. They got
that's what I'm saying.
those little bastards that were Fireflies got consumed by WLF, man, for real.
Yeah,
They got
Wolfgang said, "Oh man, we got a home for y'all. Just pledge allegiance
mm-hmm.
to the Wolf Pack."
What Kevin Nash shit were you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, for real, yo. It's crazy, man. Like I was really watching this episode. Like I can believe it because I knew what the reveal was going to be. But like man, like Joel just was he was like your boy from The Wire. He said if it's a lie, we gonna live on that lie. And he
True.
really was gonna hold that hole to his chest forever.
Yeah. And I think what did it was when Ellie came to him finally and said, "Look here, I'm gonna give you one more chance. And if you effing lie to me, we are through." And to hear her say that, I think just scared him because he doesn't want to lose her. No matter how much she hates him, even if she tells her and she's like, "Don't ever talk to me again," he can still see her and know, saying, and Jackson know that she's okay or whatever. And then on top of that, told him, "What? Don't you ever have them take me off a detail?" You know what I'm saying? Again or whatever. So Ellie, Ellie is Ellie. I get where Ellie's coming from, but I don't think she fully understands either the sacrifices that Joel is making because him being a father, and it's something that I've always heard, from going to my mom and when my mom would say something, or else my grand say something. It was like, some things, son, you just not going to understand until you have your own kids.
And I think that that's the point because as a child, like you really shouldn't have to understand.
Right.
Like that's one of the things that like I one of those like things that I don't really do. Like I never be like, oh, you don't understand the sacrifice I make for you. I'm like, that's these kids don't care. Like they
They don't
don't
care.
like their level of understanding and just like cognition is
Mm-hmm.
not even there to fully understand why in the first place.
Yeah.
Like these is conversations you have when your kids become adults
Yeah.
and then they start to learn and their brain matures to the point where you can have these conversations with them. A lot of stuff that we was doing and operating, we was not understanding because, but your parent was trying their best to like, hey, look, this is if you do this, more like this is gonna happen. If it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't happen, consider yourself blessed because usually this is the path that this leads you to.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because like think about it as a parent. Joe knows Ellie is a couple of things. And he tries to tell her on the first ride out, look, you can't just dart into stuff. You got to
Mm-hmm.
stay with your people. You got to follow protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Why ain't nobody out here? This it's the easy trail on purpose. Like I got to build you up. You know what I'm saying? And then you get somebody like Ellie who's just a smart ass, and then he's like, "Yo, go back." He said, "Nah, man, we not my daughter. You my you know what I'm saying? We a team out here."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, I just told her that." So he has to accept the fact that, yeah, you got to come with me to see, the whole
Mm-hmm.
Eugene thing. So there's that. Also, and I think this is a very interesting thing because he tried to hit her with the, what I'm saying, in my house, these are my rules. And
Yeah.
Ellie says,
Garage open.
bro, you ain't got nothing.
Yo. She
You
said
ain't
they
got
gave.
nothing.
She
They
said they
gave this to
gave you
you.
the seed.
You ain't got nothing. You don't own nothing, my guy. And that's really hit him
Mm-hmm.
because if I know I don't have anything, I do have you.
You.
And
Mm-hmm.
he did not really have her. So he was trying to find the one thing that he knew that he could have and hold on to and protect because his ethos as a person and especially as the like that paternalistic role that he gave himself for her
Mm-hmm.
was to protect. And that's all he was trying to do. And in protecting her, he alienated himself from her.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can happen. And maybe the kid will come around and you can reconcile at the end of the day. But like it's again, they both had these very selfish tendencies
Mm-hmm.
that made it very very maladaptive for their relationship. And it started off so beautifully, and I knew that it was doing like, yo, this is great. It's about to be so trash at the end, and so
Mm-hmm.
sad. And it was because that was the point. And yeah, man, like it's just, man, like Yeah,
This is a
it's
this is
bad.
another great episode, man.
Yeah, yeah, because
I mean, we basically just went through the whole episode for you
I
right there
know,
without
yeah,
even going
yeah,
into
we
it.
did. Like, I really
Hmm.
was the whole like, especially like the whole like the generational thing like may not
Yeah.
work because Joel. I just want to touch on that before we go.
Hmm.
Joel is trying to parent her like the world is still regular,
Yep.
and he's not understanding that even though he is been placed as her parent,
Hmm.
she was born into the world of the cordyceps.
Hmm. Why he
Everything
was mere
about her
why he was
is
merely molded. He was born into it.
yes. Yeah, you think the cordyceps is my
It's,
enemy.
it's my enemy.
Oh
Born
God.
into it.
Was born
Was
in the
born
dark.
to
Anyway, so like so Ellie is of this world. He's of a different world,
Yeah.
trying to survive in the new world and doing the best he can with what he has. But unfortunately, how he's trying to go about it, it was never going to work because Ellie been on it. Like, okay, think about it like this. I forgot what happened to her parents, whatever. I think they died or whatever, like some
Her,
tragic.
remember her mother, I think,
Oh yeah,
was
yeah, 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 yeah.
experimenting
Mom was
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you're pregnant with her?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So tragic backstory, single mom trying to make her way. And yeah, oh yeah, the whole episode, like in the house, and yeah, she got bitch,
Hmm.
she's pregnant. I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So her parents are dead. She grew up in the QZ and was essentially a student of the QZ
Hmm.
from an early age. Very, you know, her storyline is a lot like
Who's that?
Dedra from what you call it from Andor.
Yes.
She grew up in the
Yes.
Empire. Unfortunately, Dedra was, they're two opposite characters, but like
Hmm.
the way that she's been ingrained in this world, like she know the
Hmm.
world, and Joel just wasn't prepared to really deal with her on a different level.
And also too, Ellie knowing that she's the only person who's immune to this. So she's going about this, as we always say, what I'm saying, guns are blazing, willy-nilly. Like,
Yeah,
hey, everybody else scared of this because it's gonna happen to them. I ain't
I ain't
scared of it.
scared.
I ain't scared of it. I ain't scared of no ghosts. You know
I
what I'm
ain't
saying?
scared. I ain't scared. You know what I'm
She
saying?
ain't scared.
I
Yeah,
ain't
man.
never scared. You know what I'm
But this
saying?
is but you're right, Rashad. This episode was and this is also in everyday life too, like generation how generationally things change when raising your kids and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Like, saying I was fortunate enough to grow up in the house with my mom and my grandparents, what I'm saying? And my mom raised me a certain way as a single mother. But my grandfather, of course, my grandmother, she kind of stated, but my grandfather, he military, former military looking, oh, do this and blah 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 blah, barking orders and everything. And I heard, God bless my grandfather, that he was a hard man. He was hard on the kids and stuff like that coming up. And mom was like, nah, he ain't gonna be like, we ain't gonna be like that. And again, she was hard on me, but she won't hard on me the way that he would be. Because that man now is 94 years old, still doing this thing. And God bless her mother, she's gone. But when she was still around, she was 62 when she passed. And to think that, and me and my mom are 20 years apart.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So it's closer in age gap. So even still, like growing up, I knew with my grandfather, there was certain things I'd be like, yeah, man, that that ain't flying. Like that don't fly nowadays, sir. We don't do this. But I am grateful for the lessons that he did teach me. But some things I was just like,
I can't do that.
yeah. To quote someone that we was in the band with, I'd rather not, sir. I'd
Hilarious,
rather
man.
I'd rather not, sir. But yeah, man, this right here, Rashad, I think you encapsulated. this episode very well, especially like I say, you being a father yourself of three beautiful daughters and stuff like that. So that's why I asked you that question earlier because I knew you could relate. So
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good.
I really feel you. Like even the fact of how Ellie is actively rebelling. Like I get that too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I've been there as a child. So like I get
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yeah.
you try and do your own thing. So like you got y'all don't get it. So yeah, everybody has to go through the process, man. And like
Hmm.
it's yeah, man. This was a real interesting episode, and dare I say, daring episode of television because after last week's episode, your average viewer is just ready to see,
More
you know,
murder, death, kill, man.
just mayhem. And even like I
Yeah.
was like last week, somebody was like, "Oh my God, yo!" Like the game versus the show, like there was like so and so, like Ellie had like so many bodies by this point. I'm like, bro, like if we just gonna show her killing everybody, it's not gonna have no effect when she
Yeah.
does kill somebody.
Yeah.
So less is more. I
Yeah.
think that's like what
And,
the people who play video games didn't understand. Less is more.
and here's the thing. This isn't like a video game, like an RPG game like this for those that don't play video games, role playing games. This that where you do all this killing, murder, death, or whatever, and then you come back for like a little 2 minute little
Cutscene.
segue cutscene or something. This is a TV show where there's going to be more dialogue and stuff like that. This is what make us like shows or whatever. Me and Rashad are big fans of dialogues and shows and seeing the actual human connection and the emotion between people. So,
Definitely, man.
but
We 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 need that. If not, like it's gonna be a hard watch or just we ain't watching. We're definitely gonna talk about it. But yeah, that's all we got for this one, man. We appreciate you all. A couple of things coming up. One, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I plan to go see that
that's this
sometime.
week, right?
Yeah, definitely. Sometime
Yeah,
this week can.
yeah.
Maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. Either way, we'll
Yeah.
figure out.
I told you where I'm trying to watch it at first. I'm trying to go to the UVOD. Who's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
weird space?
We'll definitely get you guys a review.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to do it before Monday because I don't feel like doing two reviews at once. Second,
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us finale season 2 episode next Monday. Try and get
Mm-hmm.
that by at least by 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
As well as I don't know, there's some other crap coming up in
Yeah.
June.
Ironheart.
Iron Heart at the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have a couple of weeks where we can just like, have some BS stuff to talk about. It's gonna be fun,
Yeah.
not so serious. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
don't worry, content won't stop, man.
I
Again,
got you.
join us on all the things, as well as join us on the site, theuponfurtherreview.com for the 10. Get in for the 10. You know what I'm saying? Video essays, like I said, Interstellar will be coming in the summertime. More pods. You get to have a choice in what we talk about. You can even talk about it too if you want. Message
Mm-hmm.
boards there. You can talk about anything respectfully. But yeah, that is all we got for this one, man. Till the next time.